The vast emptiness of space stretched before the human research vessel like an infinite black canvas. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his dark eyes scanning the holographic display that flickered with strange energy signatures. Something was different about this sector of space, something that made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. A sudden burst of sound crackled through the communication systems. It wasn't a standard signal, but a raw, primal scream that seemed to carry both pain and terror. Jay's hand instinctively touched the communication panel, filtering and enhancing the audio. The scream belonged to a female, not human but definitely intelligent. Her voice carried notes of desperation that transcended species boundaries. Behind the primary sound, Jay could hear rough, guttural voices and what seemed like the crackling of fire. "Sung," Jay called to his senior communications officer, "can you trace the origin?" Sung Lee's fingers danced across multiple screens, triangulating the signal's source. "Approximately 3.6 light minutes from our current position. Planetary surface. Multiple heat signatures detected." The holographic display zoomed into a rocky, primitive landscape. Thermal imaging revealed a scene that looked more like an ancient ritual than a scientific encounter. A clearing surrounded by rough stone structures. In the center, a lone figure was bound to a crude metal frame. The female, clearly not from Earth, wore what appeared to be research equipment. Her body was lean and elongated, different from human proportions, but still recognizably intelligent. Around her, primitive alien creatures moved with aggressive intentions. They carried heated metal rods and strange implements that suggested something between scientific torture and ritualistic punishment. "Magnify Sector Delta," Jay commanded. The image sharpened. The tribal aliens looked like a cross between reptilian, hunters and Stone Age warriors. Their skin had a mottled green-brown texture, and they wore minimal armor made from what seemed like local animal hides. Their technology was primitive, stone weapons, fire, and basic metalworking skills. But their intentions were clear. They viewed the captured female as something between a scientific curiosity and a potential threat. Jay watched as one of the tribal aliens approached the bound researcher. The metal rod in his hand glowed with intense heat. Another alien was preparing what looked like a complex binding mechanism, seemingly ready to immobilize their captive permanently. The female's screams continued. Not just sounds of physical pain, but something deeper, a plea for understanding, for communication, for rescue. "Standard protocols?" Sung asked, his hand hovering over the communication interface. Jay knew the standard protocols. Observe. Record. Do not interfere with developing civilizations. But something about this scenario felt different. This wasn't a simple cultural misunderstanding. This was potential murder of an intelligent being. "Prepare rescue protocols," Jay said firmly. "But minimal intervention. We don't want to disrupt their entire societal development." The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency. Specialized containment shields were activated. Non-lethal energy dampeners were calibrated. Rescue pods were prepared with advanced medical equipment. On the thermal display, the tribal aliens were getting closer to the captured researcher. The heated metal rod was mere inches from her body. Her struggles were becoming weaker, suggesting she understood the hopelessness of her situation. "We're running out of time," Sung said quietly. Jay's decision crystallized in that moment. Humanity had always been about pushing boundaries, about protecting intelligence wherever it was found. Whether on Earth or across the galaxy, life had value. "Initiate rescue sequence," he commanded. The bridge erupted into controlled chaos, precise movements, calculated risks. The entire rescue operation would need to happen within minutes to prevent a potential catastrophic cultural intervention. The cold silence of space. A human vessel prepared to follow a stranger's scream and change everything. The rescue pods dropped silently from the human vessel, cutting through the planet's thin atmosphere like precision instruments. Inside each pod, trained specialists checked their equipment one last time. Their mission? Extract the captured researcher without causing permanent damage to the local tribal society. Sung Lee's voice crackled through the communication systems. "Target area approach in 30 seconds. Thermal shields at maximum." The first pod touched down 50 meters from the tribal clearing. Its exterior mimicked the surrounding terrain's color and texture, a technological camouflage that would make them nearly invisible to primitive perception. 3 team members emerged, moving with calculated precision. Their advanced suits absorbed heat signatures, making them virtually undetectable by thermal scanning. Lightweight energy dampeners hung from their belts, weapons designed to neutralize threats without causing permanent harm. In the center of the clearing, the captured researcher continued her struggle. Up close, the team could see more details. Her research equipment suggested she was a scientist, not a warrior. Strange markings on her suit indicated she belonged to a civilization far more advanced than the tribal aliens surrounding her. The tribal aliens seemed oblivious to the approaching rescue team. Their focus remained entirely on their captive, who was now barely moving. The heated metal rod came closer, its glow intensifying with each passing moment. Sung's voice cut through the communication channel. Primary target is losing consciousness. Vital signs becoming unstable. The team's lead specialist, a woman named Elena, made a quick hand signal. 2 team members split off, their movements fluid and practiced. One moved to the left of the clearing, the other to the right. Their goal: create a distraction that would draw the tribal aliens' attention. A low-frequency sound generator activated. It produced a noise just at the edge of hearing, something that would cause confusion and mild disorientation. The tribal aliens suddenly looked confused, their heads turning rapidly, trying to locate the source of the strange sound. In that moment of distraction, Eleanor moved. Her energy dampener activated with a soft blue pulse. The first tribal alien collapsed without a sound, his primitive weapon falling harmlessly to the ground. Another alien turned and met the same silent fate. The captured researcher saw the rescue happening but was too weak to react. Her breathing was shallow, her body showing signs of significant trauma. Medical team, Eleanor spoke quietly into her communication device. Prepare immediate treatment protocols. The remaining tribal aliens finally realized something was happening. They raised their weapons, primitive stone axes and spears, but their movements were slow compared to the human rescue team's technology. Another energy pulse, another silent collapse. Within 3 minutes, the entire clearing had been neutralized. No permanent damage, no fatal wounds, just unconscious. Tribal aliens and a rescued researcher. Elena approached the bound female. Close up, her differences were more apparent. Slightly longer limbs, skin with a faint iridescent quality. Definitely not human, but unmistakably intelligent. Medical team. Incoming, Sung's voice confirmed. The medical pod landed seconds later. Advanced scanning equipment immediately began assessing the researcher's condition. Micro-injectors prepared specialized treatment solutions designed to work across multiple biological systems. Vital signs: stabilizing, one medical specialist reported. Moderate physical trauma, no permanent cellular damage. The researcher's eyes flickered open. Her gaze was sharp, intelligent, even through her obvious pain and confusion. She looked at Elena, then at the unconscious tribal aliens, then back at Elena. No words were needed. Her expression carried a mixture of gratitude, surprise, and professional curiosity. The rescue was complete. Another potential tragedy averted by human intervention. As the medical team prepared for extraction, Captain J. Park watched the thermal imaging from the ship. Another successful mission, another life saved. In the vast cold darkness of space, humanity had once again proved its commitment to protecting intelligent life, regardless of its origin. The medical bay of the human vessel hummed with soft technological sounds. The rescued researcher lay on a specialized healing bed, her body slowly recovering from the tribal alien's brutal treatment. Elena sat nearby, patience etched into her professional demeanor. "Can you understand me?" she asked simply. That researcher's eyes focused. Her language translator, though damaged, slowly came back to life. "I am Hannah," she responded, her voice weak but clear. "Research scientist, not a threat." Hannah explained her mission piece by piece. She had been studying the tribal society, a civilization trapped between primitive technology and emerging complex social structures. Her research focused on understanding cultural development stages. The tribal aliens, she revealed, lived in a complex social environment driven by deep-rooted fear of unknown things. Any technology or appearance they couldn't immediately understand was classified as demonic or dangerous. Her scientific equipment, advanced scanning devices and communication tools, looked like mystical artifacts to their limited understanding. "They believed I was a spirit," Hannah said, her fingers tracing the medical bed's surface. "Not a living being, just a threat to be eliminated." Captain J. Park listened carefully. The ship's senior researchers gathered around, recording every detail of her explanation. Cultural anthropologists would spend months analyzing this single encounter. The tribal society, Hannah explained, operated on strict survival principles. Their world was harsh. Limited resources, constant environmental challenges. Any unknown element represented a potential threat to their existence. Her presence triggered their most basic defensive mechanisms. "They saw my equipment as magical," she continued. Scanning devices looked like demon summoning tools. Communication devices appeared like spirit communication instruments. The human team understood the complexity. Many developing civilizations interpreted advanced technology through their cultural and spiritual frameworks. What seemed like simple scientific tools to one society could appear supernatural to another. Sung Lee brought up holographic representations of the tribal alien settlement. Complex social hierarchies were visible. Religious leaders seemed to hold more power than political leaders. Scientific understanding was minimal, replaced by spiritual explanations. "Their survival depends on strict social control," Hannah explained. "Anything unknown gets eliminated quickly. I was an unknown variable." The medical team completed their initial treatment. Hannah's physical wounds were healing rapidly, thanks to advanced regenerative technologies. Her mental state showed remarkable resilience. A trained scientific mind, processing a near-death experience with professional detachment. Captain J recognized something unique in this encounter. It wasn't just a rescue mission. It was a potential bridge between different levels of technological understanding. "We cannot directly interfere with their societal development," Jay mentioned to his senior team. "But we can ensure your safety and potentially learn from this encounter." Hannah nodded. Her research had been interrupted but not destroyed. The human rescue had transformed a potential tragedy into a unique scientific opportunity. The ship's cultural analysis team began preparing comprehensive reports. Every detail of the encounter would be studied, from the tribal aliens' reaction to Hannah's presence to the specific technologies that seemed most threatening to them. "They operate on fear," Hannah summarized. "Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of anything different from their established understanding." Her words carried a universal truth that transcended species. Fear, the most powerful emotion in any developing civilization. As medical treatments continued, Hannah began sharing more details about her research. The tribal aliens weren't simply violent. They were complex, survival-driven, protective of their limited resources and established social structures. The human team listened, recorded, analyzed. Another layer of universal understanding was being revealed, piece by careful piece. The communication channel crackled with anticipation. Captain J. Park watched carefully as the diplomatic transmission prepared to connect with Hannah's home civilization. Her people, a technologically advanced society known for their scientific exploration, would need a precise explanation of the recent events. Hannah sat beside Jay, her body now fully recovered. Her translation devices worked perfectly, bridging potential communication gaps. The holographic display flickered, revealing a council of scientific leaders from her home world. "We received your transmission," the lead council member stated. His appearance was slightly different from human structure, longer limbs, slightly translucent skin. "Explain the encounter." Jay presented a carefully constructed report. Every detail was documented: the rescue operation, the tribal aliens' behavior, the potential cultural misunderstandings. No dramatic embellishments, just pure, factual information. The council listened silently. Their advanced scanning technologies examined every micro-expression, every subtle detail of the transmission. Our researcher was in significant danger, Jay explained. We followed standard interstellar rescue protocols for intelligent beings. Hannah added her own detailed report. She described the tribal society's complex social structures, their fear-based decision-making, and the potential research value of the encounter. Her professional approach transformed a potential diplomatic incident into a scientific opportunity. The Homeworld's Council deliberated. Minutes passed like hours. The ship's crew waited, understanding the delicate nature of interstellar diplomacy. "We accept your intervention," the lead council member finally announced. "Our researchers' safety is our primary concern." But the diplomatic resolution needed more than simple acceptance. The human team understood the broader implications. This wasn't just about rescuing one researcher. It was about establishing potential future communication protocols. Sung Lee prepared a comprehensive cultural analysis. The tribal aliens would need careful management. Direct intervention could destroy their developing social structure. Indirect guidance might be more effective. "We recommend minimal contact," Jay proposed. "Observation without direct interference," the council agreed. They would dispatch subtle monitoring devices, technology so advanced it would appear like natural environmental elements to the tribal society. No direct communication, just careful, distant observation. Hannah would continue her research, now with additional support and safety protocols. Her near-death experience would become a significant case study in interstellar cultural research. The tribal aliens would be left to develop naturally. But now, subtle technological nudges would prevent extreme violent behaviors. Advanced monitoring systems would ensure no repeat of the previous incident. "Your intervention saved not just a researcher," the council member said, "but potentially prevented a significant cultural disruption." Captain Jay understood the complex balance. Humanity's role wasn't to control or dominate. It was to protect, to observe, to understand. As the communication channel closed, Hannah looked at the human crew with a mixture of gratitude and professional respect. Her research had been saved, her life preserved, and a potential interstellar incident had been transformed into a diplomatic success. Sung Lee began preparing the comprehensive report. Every detail would be analyzed, every moment documented. This would become another chapter in humanity's growing understanding of the complex universe. The ship's systems hummed quietly. Outside, stars continued their silent dance. Another small moment of cosmic understanding had been achieved. Humanity had once again demonstrated its commitment to intelligent life, regardless of its origin, appearance, or technological development. The diplomatic resolution was complete. But the real journey of understanding was just beginning. News traveled faster than light in the interconnected galaxy. Within weeks, the story of the human rescue spread across multiple communication networks. Intelligent species from different star systems discussed the unexpected intervention. Hannah became more than just a rescued researcher. She transformed into an informal ambassador, bridging understanding between her civilization and humans. Her detailed reports about the rescue mission captured the imagination of scientific communities across multiple star systems. Captain J. Park received multiple diplomatic commendations. His decision to rescue Hannah represented a significant moment in interstellar relations. The human approach, protecting intelligent life without complete cultural destruction, became a new standard for first contact scenarios. Communication networks buzzed with discussions. How could a relatively young species like humans demonstrate such advanced diplomatic and ethical capabilities? The rescue wasn't just a single event. It represented a broader philosophical approach to intelligent life preservation. Smaller civilizations began seeing humans differently. No longer were they just another technological species. They were potential protectors, guardians of intelligent existence. Research institutions across different star systems requested detailed analysis of the rescue mission. Every aspect was examined, from the technological approach to the careful cultural considerations. Humans had managed something remarkable, a rescue operation that didn't destroy the existing social structure of the tribal aliens. Hannah worked closely with human diplomatic teams, sharing her extensive research. Her expertise in cultural development provided unprecedented insights into how different civilizations emerge and interact. Universities invited her to give lectures. Scientific conferences wanted her comprehensive reports. The tribal aliens remained unaware of the larger implications. Their society continued developing, subtly monitored by advanced technological systems. No direct interference, just careful, distant observation. Sung Lee and the communication team developed new protocols based on the rescue mission. These guidelines would help future explorers navigate complex first contact scenarios. Each detail was carefully documented, each decision analyzed for potential future applications. Interstellar diplomatic circles recognized the significance of the event. Humans had demonstrated a unique ability to balance technological superiority with ethical considerations. They didn't simply impose their will. They protected. They understood. Captain J found himself at the center of multiple diplomatic discussions. His measured approach became a case study in interstellar conflict resolution. Military academies and diplomatic training centers used the rescue mission as a primary example of responsible exploration. The broader impact went beyond a single rescue. It represented a new approach to understanding different civilizations. Respect, protection, careful observation. Hannah continued her research, now with additional resources and support. Her near-death experience had transformed into a significant scientific opportunity. Multiple research grants were offered. Her work would help future explorers understand the complex dynamics of developing civilizations. The human vessel continued its exploration. But now every mission carried the lessons learned from the rescue. Every encounter would be approached with the same careful consideration. Smaller civilizations began sending diplomatic inquiries. They wanted to understand the humans who had demonstrated such unexpected compassion. What motivated a species to risk technological exposure to protect an unknown researcher? The answer was simple yet profound: a commitment to intelligent life, a belief that every thinking being deserved protection, an understanding that the universe was complex, diverse, and filled with potential. Years later, the rescue would be remembered as a turning point, not just in human exploration, but in how intelligent species understood each other. Captain J. Park would often reflect on that single decision, following a scream, rescuing a researcher, changing the understanding of an entire galactic community. The stars continued their silent dance, and humanity had found its place among them, not as conquerors but as protectors. One rescue. Countless implications. The universe watched and understood.